Well, hey, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I've got a cool road bike that I've been suggesting to a lot of my friends and customers. It's called the Trek Domane AL5. This is it's a $2,000 modern geometry road bike that is very capable of more than just riding on the road. Most people that want one bike that I want to say base level, but this is a AL5. So AL5 comes with a Shimano 105 components, a group set, and Shimano 105 is where things start getting good, start getting really good. Tiagra and some of the other component levels below it, I don't want to say aren't good, but especially if I sell something in like a 56 or 58, a bigger bike. Bigger bikes usually go with bigger people. Bigger people put more power down. And that's where I like Shimano 105 drivetrain. I've been riding road bikes since the early 80s. I'm 54 years old and I've spent a lifetime on bikes. 105 is good stuff. 105, Ultegra, or Dura Ace. But when you're looking for the value, and a lot of people, that $2,000 mark, they've realized is kind of what you need to spend to start getting something really good. And usually it's $2,500 or $3,000. Trek has done an awesome job of putting together a bike under that $2,000 price point, and it's right at $2,000. A little bit over a tax. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. My little bike shop's called Biloxi Bicycle Works, by the way, and tax around here is 7%. So, but that gets into the details of it. And let me get into the details of this bike. Some of the things I like about this bike, and I'm not going to go over every spec of this bike, just because you can get that on the Trek website. You can go to the Biloxi Bicycle Works website and get it. There's a lot of good YouTube reviewers that tell you about every spec of the bike. I'm more interested in telling you how this bike rides. I ride this bike, how my customers feel on this bike, and why I think this is a better value than some of the other bikes on the market. I am an independent bike dealer, and at Biloxi Bicycle Works, our repair department, we work on all makes, models of bikes. So we see it all. We see a lot. I mean, right now I'm seeing a lot of used bikes roll in here that people bought sight unseen, or they met someone in a parking lot and they're trying to find a good deal on a bike and people get the wrong size bike, or they get a bike that's worn out already. It's nice when you can get a new bike, especially a Trek, something under warranty, with a company that's backing me up. It is a small local bike shop right now. We've got to compete with direct-to-consumer bikes. We've got to compete with factory stores. And one way I can do that is by offering Trek. Trek, when I call them, even as a small little bike shop, they pick up the phone. I've got a direct link to my rep, Ryan, who's been working for Trek for 25 years. I can call Ryan and tell him if I've got some kind of weird problem. Or I can call Trek, and they answer the phone quickly. They don't put me on hold and send me around the world. They speak good English, and they help me out with any kind of problems I have, warranty issues, stuff like that, taken care of just like that. I can say that as a independent bike dealer, I'm forced sometimes to call companies that are direct to consumer stuff, and it is just turned into a big time suck and waste of time for me. So deal with Trek. I was a Specialized dealer for a long time, and I like Specialized bikes, but when it comes down to the two, Trek takes care of me a lot better than Specialized ever did, and they take care of my customers too. And I'm not saying anything bad about Specialized bikes. I rode Specialized bikes for years. I know a lot of people that work in the company, and they make great stuff, but I'm just saying, apples to apples, orange to oranges, Trek picks up the phone and they take care of me. I'm just ending the story about like that. But back to the Trek ALR5. This is a carbon fiber fork and a aluminum frame. This is an alpha aluminum frame that is this bike comes in about 21 pounds, and that's a real decent weight for a road bike that is this capable. It's coming with 32 millimeter tires, and there's room for bigger tires, so you can put up to like 38s on this bike. So I don't want to call this a gravel bike, but you know, around here in Biloxi, Mississippi, sometimes people, you know, we're a blue collar community, you know, and a lot of times guys want one bike that they can do multiple things on. So this is good for light gravel. It's good for adventure. You can pack this bike out. So it does have mounts and racks, so you can commute on this bike. It's definitely a solid commuter. If you can do some light backpacking, if you want to do some cross-country riding, this bike is great for all that. But it's also around here, you know, we've got a lot of fast road rides. If you want to do a fast road ride on a bike that does multiple things and spend under $2,000, the Trek Domane AL5 is great. It does put you at a geometry that's not as aggressive as like a Madone or a Specialized SL8, something like that. But believe me, you spend a lot more money for a Madone or a SL8. And the aluminum offering here at $2,000 basically, you get a bike that can rival the B group. You know, if you're you know, trying to ride with A group, you better get ready to spend some money on a bike. You know, I ride with A group and I can do it on this bike, but I've got to suffer a bit if I'm going to go out and try to ride at those speeds on a base level bike. Most of those guys have that much money into their wheels. A group ride is a whole different level. Most of the time, if you're an A group rider, you spend a lot of time on a bike, and you know they're going to call this a base level bike. But if you're a B, C group guy, someone that wants to ride to work, someone getting into road riding, and you know you're not used to spending that much money on a bike, $2,000 is a lot of money, and this bike is the one that I think you can get and definitely grow into. This bike is not going to hold you back. Like I said, I can ride this bike with the fast guys, but it does make me suffer a bit. I'm much better off on a Madone with that group. But as a bike shop owner, I try to promote a lot of cycling in different levels. Like today we did a Circle Biloxi Bay, which I coined as the slowest, most fun road ride on the coast. We circled Biloxi Bay on some urban roads. This bike with a modern geometry, and I did see some guys on some really old bikes, with 23 millimeter tires, and they were getting beat up out there on the urban situation. Anybody that had more of a modern bike, something with a little bit, steeper head angle, something can handle the rake and trail numbers are decent, something that's, handles a little bit better in rougher terrain, and something that can handle a wider tire. Also, disc brakes. This is a hydraulic disc brake. When I say a 105 group set, it's a solid 105 group set, from your cranks to your shift levers to your brakes. And these are hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano 105. If you buy this bike, you're not going to have problems with your brakes. Even in the larger sizes. I'm a size 54, so it means I'm on the tall side of a 54. I'm 5'9" with a 32-inch inseam, so I kind of have long legs. 54 fits me perfect as far as what the size chart says. I'm a professional bike fitter, so you can't always just go over overall height or inseam. It's a good way to start. But just know at 5'9" and 32-inch inseam, the 54 fits me perfect. If I jump into a 56, that just feels a little bit large for me. Maybe if I was just going to tour cross country. But I like to ride this bike hard. I like to ride this bike fast. And the 54 lets me do it. This bike actually puts down the power really, really well. So it comes in a few different colors. This is the lichen green. And it's got some really cool kind of, I'm going to say, purplish, silverish accents. I don't know, this bike rocks. I'm doing a 100-mile ride tomorrow. This is a brand new bike, so I can't just go take it off the showroom floor and go ride it. But my friend has one of these that lets me ride quite a bit, so I can do some long-term, so I can talk about this bike intelligently. And I would love to ride that bike tomorrow, but I've got another friend that's going to let me ride the new Madone Gen 8, so I'm going to use that tomorrow because I'm already fitted to it. But this is a great bike. Especially if you want something that's not gonna hold you back in the long run, or something that you can commute back and forth to work with, something that you can do light gravel with. But really, buy this bike if you want a road bike. You know, it can do some other things fairly well, but it's an endurance geometry road bike with the 32 millimeter tires. It smooths out the aluminum frame. Now this is a 100 alpha aluminum. It's buzzy, you know, but with the way that the geometry is built into this bike, and with the 32 millimeter tires or bigger you can put on it, it takes that buzz out of it. And it gives you a really solid platform. It's not something that you're going to start upgrading parts on. If you're going to do an upgrade on anything, do the rims. Just buy a set of awesome rims for this bike. You're going to spend $1,000 on rims, and you've got a really capable bike. It's capable as is. It's capable out of the box. I could take this bike tomorrow on the Gulf Coast Bicycle Club's Magnolia 100 and rock that ride. So if you're looking for that next level bike, that road bike that's going to bring you to that next level, that road bike that's going to be a little bit more comfortable than that old road bike that you've had for years, something with a 12-speed drivetrain and an awesome gear range, something with components that are going to last and not hold you back. Look at the Trek Domane AL5, 105 equipped aluminum bike with a great carbon fork, awesome geometry, wide tire clearance at $2,000. It's a no-brainer. If you've got that, you know, if you're looking for that next level bike. Or if you're a triathlete that wants to start doing some road biking, or if you're a mountain biker that wants to start jumping into road biking, something like this, don't waste your money on a used bike right now. Don't waste your money on something that doesn't have a warranty, something that's already worn out. Get something fresh and ride the heck out of this bike. And don't worry about upgrading a dang thing. Just throw a Garmin on it and ride it. This is a really, really good bike. I believe in this bike. I sell it to a lot of my customers. I bought my build in here, and I'm trying to keep in the bicycle industry. I don't want to go back to accounting. So support your local bike shop. It's your local bike shop that supports you and holds all the group rides and gives you that advice you need. You know, they want to see you on the right bike, and this is the right bike for a lot of people. So if you do have a local Trek dealer, definitely support your local Trek dealer. They're trying to survive just like I am. They need you right now. You know, a lot of these direct-to-consumer brands don't care about you. They put an awesome website on, but they're selling you a product and throwing you to the wolves. Stick with a name brand, and as a Trek dealer, I know how well Trek trying to make their customers happy, and they believe in their bike, their dealer network. So it's a great bike. I love the color of this bike, and you know, I can't say enough good about it for the price. So if you are looking for that next level road bike, that Trek Domane AL5 is a great bike. I've ridden this bike. Any questions, feel free to call me at Biloxi Bicycle Works during the week, and I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. If you are looking for this bike and you're on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you know, definitely come into my shop and let's go for a long test ride, and I'll tell you all about this bike because I actually ride this bike. It's fantastic. If you like what we do on Bicycle Ride YouTube, just, you know, like and subscribe, and it lets YouTube know that you guys are watching me and gives me a little incentive to stay here after hours on a long work week to do a few videos and spread the love of this bike. And one thing I do love about this bike is the integrated cables. That's a real pain in the butt for a lot of bicycle mechanics. We've learned how to work on this. It's not that big of a deal on this bike. So if we do have to, you know, cut a cable or replace a cable, it's not a big deal. Go to a qualified mechanic and they can make this stuff not seem so hard. So anyway, Bicycle Ride YouTube, I appreciate your time. Get out on your bikes and ride. Thank you very much.